Hello, everyone. This is very important, especially if you're going to be traveling for business, for pleasure, going to visit your parents, your kids. Do not fly on a Boeing. My name is Daryl Guberman. I am a shareholder of Boeing stock. I'm a 40-plus year quality expert, and I say that humbly. Background, I've got a BS degree in management. My focus on my studies was composites, plastics, Kevlar, boron, graphite, fiberglass, their resin systems, their adhesive systems, their metallic fastening systems, both RTM, IBM, EBM for the plastics, which is resin transfer molding, the composite side of the business. For bottling, we went into extrusion blow molding and injection blow molding. Also, non-ferrous metals, aluminum, titanium alloys, and also I'm a penetrant level 2 inspector. We're going to go right into this because you have to hear this. You must know this. You must know about our government being in a mess, as we all know, even with the change of characters within the platform that President Trump has done, with Pam Bondi as the Attorney General, Kash Patel as the FBI, Peter Hegseth, DOD, Kristi Noem as DHS, and also Howard Lufkin for Department of Commerce. Many of these you will hear in this document. And I go ahead. Grounded in deceit, Boeing broken trust, and the Watchdog, truth sayer, they never wanted. QA expert Daryl Guberman. I still offer them my services, but if you don't hear Daryl Guberman out there in Boeing, Seattle, do not fly on one. Honestly. You will say, Daryl, they're most safe till they're going to be safe. Well, let me read this to you, and then you decide. And may God have mercy upon your soul. I don't know when or where, but I definitely know the how and the why of catastrophe when it comes to these planes. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow business associates, friends and family, I stand at a historic crossroads, not just in aviation, but in accountability. The crashes of Lion Air 610 and Ethiopian Airlines 302 that took 346 lives were not unforeseeable tragedies. They were the foreseeable result of a corporate culture that placed profits before people and the certification system that looked the other way. Boeing has now confessed to criminal fraud, but that's only half the story. For over 2 decades, Boeing enforced AS 9100, International Certification for Aerospace Quality Standards, on its suppliers while delaying full certification for its own commercial airplanes division until most recently, August 2024. Meanwhile, oversight of those certifications fell to ANSI ANAP, or possibly their internationally equivalents, sitting on the International Accreditation Forum incorporated in Delaware that both ANSI and ANAP had founded, and the sister organization ILAC, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation in Australia. These certification bodies that sit on both those organizations are equivalent in accreditation to ANSI and ANAP, and ANSI and ANAP are also underwriters, which means they take full legal responsibility for this. And you will find out today the reason why the DOJ doesn't slam ANSI and ANAP is because they're members on ANSI and ANAP's board, and they're not only members, but I will show you the 990 tax form from none other than ANSI ANAP that show them to be customers as well. Not only them, but the DHS, the Department of Commerce, and also the FDA are not just members, they're customers. Meanwhile, oversight of those certifications fell to ANSI ANAP, the very organizations under contract with the federal government, and yet both are private, and they became one in 2018. ANSI took over complete control over ANAP, but they want you to think that they're two different companies. They're not. They're one and the same. The federal government, ANSI and ANAP, the very organizations under contract with the federal government, and yet both are private, non-governmental bodies with international ties that compromise national security. Daryl Guberman, a quality assurance expert and a truth sayer, has been raising the alarm for over a decade. He warned that ANSI ANAP are not just failing at oversight, they are the underwriters of international certification fraud. These bodies co-founded the International Accreditation Forum, incorporated in Delaware, as I told you, led from 2015 to 21 by a communist Chinese national who's been involved with our quality since 1994, who's mandated by the Chinese Communist Party to take our data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. Was our government sleeping? For 6 years, this guy had control over an American-based company with corporations and federal agencies sitting on Anzi Anab, the founder of the IAF. Oh. How did we let the Chinese-led organization take legal equivalency over American aerospace certifications? Guberman also revealed that Anzi Anab certified labs and manufacturers via IAF and ILEC and Anzi Anab equivalency, meaning foreign certification bodies, including those under China control, hold equal accreditation standing as U.S. bodies. This is a breach of sovereignty and national liability nightmare. In 2017, Pamela Sale, the vice president of Anzi Anab Laboratory Accreditation, admitted under oath, one of the issues is that there is no commonly agreed upon set of standards that forensic labs around the country have to follow. Instead, there are informal guidelines that labs can choose to follow or not, which means she confessed to the release of the virus from the Wuhan lab in China. This means that the very certification bodies, Anzi Anab, certifying safety critical systems for companies like Boeing, are built on informal guidelines, a loophole big enough to fly a 737 MAX through. So when Boeing says it's sorry and when the Department of Justice offers a sweetheart plea deal, remember this, and I'm going to show it to you too. The FAA sat on Anzi Anab's board, along with the Department of Defense, along with the Department of Justice, and even the Department of Homeland Security. All of them paid fees to Anzi Anab. All of them endorsed the same broken system that certified Boeing's lies. Today, the American public is owed more than a guilty plea. We are owed a day of reckoning. We need real reform, and Daryl Guberman has shown, and I have shown, the forward path of independent oversight, transparency, and accreditation, divorced from the international entanglements that threaten our sovereignty, our safety. This is about more than Boeing. It's about who we trust to certify the air we breathe, the planes we fly in, and the systems we hold to our republic together. In April, here I was at the Senate subcommittee holding up two pieces of paper. In 2002, Boeing made supplier bulletins or supplier notifications that said, send in your certs, send in your parts, special process, heat treat, etc. And send in your parts, we don't have to come see you. We relinquish it. On top of it, in those two pieces of paper, it states they will only come see the supplier if need be or need arises. And they also said that we're going to be doing this because we can eliminate redundant inspections. Don't you want redundant inspections on a tin can that's going to be carrying 300 and some odd people up in the air at 35,000 feet? Don't you want that? And then then we went to go see David Calhoun, June 18th, 2024. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. As I told you, this is Anzi Anab's 990 tax form. As you can see, Department of Commerce, Homeland Security, Department of Justice, and FDA. You have NIST, as I told you, which is part of the Department of Commerce, the National Institute of Standards and Technology. They have a representative on board of NIST that watches, that is a representative of NIST on Anzi Anab, Director of Standards Coordination, Office of the National Institute of Standards and Technology, $120K plus his government salary. Homeland Security sits there. This is a joke. Homeland Security with Phil Mattson. He's also kind of the same title, but look what he makes, $262,000 plus his federal salary. You have the Department of Justice, as I showed you, that sits right over by Boeing. We're going to get Boeing pretty soon. You have the FDA, as I showed you on their 990 tax form. You also have Boeing sitting right over by the Department of Justice and FBI and FDA and all the rest of them. Do you see this, ladies and gentlemen? There is a serious issue. My number is 203-556-1493. I look forward to hearing from you.